how good can the £69 driving iron from Amazon really be? Let's find out, shall we? Oh dear. Guys, how you doing? Welcome back to a brand new video. Simon down here at Sanford Springs Golf Club with another Amazon special, and today's question, is it any good? And this particular golf club got me thinking, as I've tested the driver from the same manufacturer, and for £100 I said it was quite good. But compared to my review 2 weeks ago on the 917 D2 driver, which one would I prefer for £100? The Titleist would pretty much take it all day long. However, for a utility club, a driving iron similar to the Ping G series crossover video that I did last week, some of you agreed, some of you flat out refused, some of you gave your own suggestions in terms of what you liked in that utility club slot for 70 odd pounds. And what I want to find out today is it worth going for a more mid to lower brand like this, for example, or is it worth hunting, searching and going for a mainstream brand like Ping, Titleist, Callaway and going down the second hand route? But driving irons are somewhat, I would say, simpler to make, i.e. you've got a shaft, a head, a grip, and not really that much going on inside it. So right from the get-go, the big thing that struck out to me when I saw this on Amazon is it looks really good. Very similar to the Sim UDI that I saw come out 2 years or so ago with a little waiting port at the back there. It's all blacked out. The actual styling's very simple and aesthetically it actually looks really good. However, one concern that I did have when I was choosing this is that I got to choose a loft. Obviously I went for a 2 iron as that'll suit my swing better. You can get a 3 and a 4 in this, but there was no shaft option, and all we have here is a steel shaft that says Mazel original guarantee, and that's it. More importantly, what I want to know is who exactly is this utility club for? As with the Ping G series crossover, I said pretty much anyone could put this in the bag, and a lot of you agreed, a lot of you disagreed, some of you even put your own suggestions like the TaylorMade Gapper, for example, for that £70. And realistically there's so much choice in the second-hand market around that price bracket. This would have to be something quite special to knock those off. Now, one thing that really gets me, especially when I do a lot of these reviews on, let's say, the cheaper variety of golf clubs, is that please would they start just putting a decent grip on the end of it. This thing is essentially just like holding the golf shaft. Like, just put a couple of layers, and I know everyone's preference is somewhat different, but this is much smaller. This is almost like undersized the way it feels on the golf club. To be fair, now I've actually taken a closer look at the grip, size is one issue, but at least making sure that it's straight in line with that front edge is another. That's not even aligned to the front edge, but also that is twisted down the bottom. You can see as this grip goes down the middle, I mean the Mazel logo is essentially aiming pretty much at the back of the head of the club. Okay, we've tested it and tried it on a few holes already, and obviously further testing to come. Initial impressions is that it is chunky, it is offset, it is big, it feels very heavy at the bottom end, and potentially someone that's looking for a £69 utility club, they're looking as a hybrid replacement, that mid-handicapper level. I can't imagine a scratch or plus handicapper looking down this route, as they are going to go and get fitted for that £180 option, but it's going to save them shots on the tee. And not only that, they have an incredibly high ball speed to get the ball up in the air. However, with that being said, there's very few golf clubs that I test that I struggle to get in the air. And what I mean by that is enough backspin so the ball actually stays in the air and not run along the ground. Interestingly, we tested a few stinger options with this on one of the holes, and I was almost drop kicking them down the fairway. And I've tested hundreds of golf clubs, and this has to be the lowest spinning utility iron I have ever tested in all of these kind of videos. And there's pros and cons with that. The wind's just not going to touch it. I even hit a few off the fairway and I pulled both of them, but even still I could tell that if this was 25 miles an hour into the wind, the ball is not getting touched. It is going to stay on its line and trajectory and finish somewhere around the green as long as the club face is pointing there. The con is someone's got to have a serious amount of club head speed to get this thing up in the air. Now again, I have chosen the 2 iron 18-degree option, and you could choose the 3 and could choose the 4. However, the bit that I do like with the second-hand option is, yes, there might be a bit more trial and error, but if you do a bit of research and you find a decent price, that 3 iron or 4 iron loft isn't right and you need to go down or go up, you can exchange it, find someone else, swap it or potentially sell it, buy another one, Bob's your uncle, you're there. With this option, even though it's a reasonable price, I can't see you getting much money back for it if it doesn't turn out as you planned. However, after hitting those 3 shots on the 27th, I started to hear a funny little noise from the back of the driving iron. So I think it needs further investigating. Oh dear. The strange noise that was coming from the head is this thing here. As you can see, I can literally screw and take the little weight out the back of the head, which I've never ever actually seen before in any golf club at all. Normally they're always like glued shut. There's even this like little ring, red ring as well, that kind of keeps the weight flush, but never in my life I've actually been able to look inside the driving iron itself. That is essentially just the hollow cavity in the back of the head there, and I'm not too sure why that hasn't been glued down, because if you took this on the golf course and you got that rattling, so if this was to come loose like that, for example, I don't think you'd actually be able to tighten it back up. I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts are on that. But if that is to come loose, I don't know why that would need to come loose, but if it was to come loose, it'd be nice if there was like a little plastic key that you could use to tighten that up. But again, I mean, it's not rattling anymore. If that was to happen once whilst you're out on the golf course and then you go and play a competitive round and it starts happening mid-round, I mean, you're going to lose a tiny bit of confidence in it. It looks great, but if you can't keep it in the back there consistently, or for whatever particular reason it was to come out, you need to make sure that it's in there securely. Yes, it's big, yes, it's chunky, yes, it's powerful, don't get me wrong, which is the exciting thing about this, is that it's a very reasonably priced, brand new driving iron head that can produce forgiveness and can produce distance and can produce those low spinning tee shots. However, there's just a few things at the moment whilst hitting this that's just letting it down, and the funniest thing is that it wouldn't actually cost much more to fix them. I feel like this would be a much more better balanced golf club if there was just a bit more weight down here, and if you just put a slightly bigger grip on the end of this, I feel like the whole thing would just merge a bit better. Answer the question at the start of this video, is this £69 golf club any good? I would say it's okay. The bit that I love is there are companies out there, and Maisel do make good products that can produce a decent sounding, forgiving head plus margin. So obviously this was £69, there's commission to obviously Amazon, you've got delivery included in that, so then you've got to think trade price £20, something like that. Then there are manufacturers out there that can design decent sounding, forgiving iron heads, driving iron heads, for not that much money. However, and it's a big however, when I look at the second-hand market and the array of golf clubs out there and the prices that you can actually get them for, yes, it's a bit of time, yes, it's a bit of effort, and yes, it is a bit of research. I do feel there's an array of tested and tried and trusted clubs out there that will give you what you want. I feel this needs still a bit of tinkering. There's good points on it, but there's also quite a few flaws, and to be honest, for £69, which isn't necessarily cheap, I feel like it's better invested in something that we've all tried and tested and we all agree with. For example, the Ping G series crossover. For example, the TaylorMade Gapper. For example, every single Strixon utility iron out there. And if you don't get on with any of those, you can sell it for the exact same amount of money that you bought it for, which I don't think could be said the same for this. So guys, if you like this video, potentially you might like this one here. The golf club Ping ruined in my eyes. Guys, thank you ever so much for watching. Catch you guys later.